No entry to the beach today. This is the remnants of Typhoon Tino. You can see all of the trees along Newtown Boulevard, at least the east end of Newtown Boulevard, are toppled over. You can see how they planted them. They essentially just tipped over. And that got me to thinking about typhoon preparedness or power outage preparedness. As you see that, as you know, Typhoon Tino affected the area. We were out of power for about 18 hours. I am located on the corner of the Exposition Center building. And let's talk about how to prepare and what you can do to prepare for a power outage here at Mactan Newtown. And they do occur occasionally. I think I've been here for almost 6 months and we've had power outages for short periods of time, almost every month. Once or twice a month, the power goes out. This time it was a 18-hour stint, but in most cases it's only a few hours. And in some cases it's actually a planned power outage. I know they had a planned power outage a couple of months ago. I believe it was from 6 a.m. until noon. When I was here in January, they had a planned power outage. I believe that was from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. So it's occasionally you're going to have to go for a period of time without power. And I wanted to talk about what you can do to prepare for that. Normally, I didn't really prepare very much because the power only goes out for an hour or two at a time. And in most cases, the power is up within a couple of hours. So what do you do if it's out for 18 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, 36 hours? I heard that Typhoon Odette in 2021, I believe the power was out for 3 days. Here there are more trees toppled. Here at Mactan Newtown, just about every one of them is bent over. Look at that. Some of the things you can do, in my opinion, you should at least have a flashlight or something battery operated that you can light your condo. Now they say that every condo has at least one power outlet that's operable. Some condo units, there are no power outlets that are operable. And in some condo units, there are. So in the event you're in one of the condo units that does not have a power outlet that's operable, I think you should at least have a flashlight available to you. And even if you have a power outlet, you most likely are going to be powering things like your refrigerator. You're most likely going to be charging your cell phone with it. And by the way, my Verizon International cell phone plan did work during the power outage. It was not real fast service, but I could use the phone during the power outage with my Verizon International. I was actually out of load on my Philippines phone. I have smartphone service. I was out of load, and the place I normally buy my load was also out of load. So that's why it was nice to have two cell phones, one with Verizon International and a local phone. So you might want to consider that. You should have dry food in your condo unit, in your kitchen, because all the cooktops here at Mactan Newtown are electric, and when the power goes out, you cannot cook. So have some dry goods, something you can eat that you don't need to have electricity to prepare it. But if you have a power outlet that works in your condo unit, you should be able to get by, maybe make some coffee in the morning. But there's a chance that you don't have the power outlet. So I think you should have some dry goods in your refrigerator. That's always a good thing to have. You might want to consider having an extension cord. I know there was some expats that went to DIY and they bought some extension cords to power some of their items in their condo unit. And the thing that I found is that there are outlets in the hallways of the condo buildings. There are outlets that did work. So if you find yourself in a situation where your condo has no power in it, you should check with your management of your condo building if you can use the power outlets in the hallways. And I heard some people were doing that, and they went to DIY to buy extension cords. But that might be against policy, so check with your condo management if that's allowable. That is your video for today. Those are some of the things you can do to prepare for the power outages. Generally speaking, your bathrooms are going to be really, really dark. At least in my condo unit, the bathroom was dark and I needed light in there. And I saw some people buying candles. I would not recommend buying a candle. Keep in mind, if you set the fire alarm off for something against policy, and I believe candles are against policy, it is going to cost you a 10,000 peso fine. So don't buy candles. That's something I would recommend you don't do. You might want to have some board games, because you're going to be bored sitting in your condo unit without power. So you might want to have some games to play with your friends, partner, spouse, whatever. So you might want to consider that as well. There were limited stores open on the boulevard, but the stores that were open were full of people, a lot of people at the 7-Elevens. I believe the 7-Eleven stores were open. Robinson grocery store, a lot of people in there. And the point I'm trying to make there is, don't think that you're going to leave your condo building and just go somewhere and sit down and relax. You should prepare yourself to spend time in the condo unit, because there might not be any place outside the condo unit to go to sit down, to have dinner. Most of the restaurants, there's only one or two restaurants that were open. They were full of people, a lot of people. Even the street vendors, there was only a couple of street food vendors, and those were full of people. A lot of foreigners. I've seen more foreigners sitting at those street vendors than I've ever seen before in my life. Typically the foreigners go to the restaurants, but because of the power outage and the lack of places to go to eat, they're going to some of the street vendors on Quezon Highway. You also want to make sure that your phones are loaded if you do have a Philippines phone, Smart or Globe. Make sure you have plenty of load on. Don't be like me. And I didn't have load and I couldn't find anywhere to buy the load. I just wanted to give you some food for thought because the power does go out here on an occasional basis, but rarely does it go out for a couple hours. And that's why I probably was ill prepared for a long-term power outage. And keep your eye on the forecast, because as I'm speaking today, Wednesday, there's another typhoon forecast to affect the Philippines area, I believe Saturday and Sunday. Right now it looks like it's going to track west of here, actually east of here, and north of here, but there is a possibility it could affect the Cebu area again. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, and if it looks even remotely close, like it's going to affect Cebu, I'm going to go out and prepare myself a little bit better for a long-term power outage, because at some point the big one is going to hit and we will be out of power for maybe more than a couple of days. That is your video for today. I hope I gave you some insight and forethought as to what you can do during a storm and power outage. Feel free to share the video with anybody who feels interested in this content. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Stay safe, and thoughts and prayers to anybody affected by Typhoon Tino or any of the natural disasters occurring in and around the Philippines lately. Take care, everyone.